To make this beautiful blouse, all we have to do is to manipulate the basic pattern and achieve this. This beautiful blouse is very easy to make once you know how to fix a collar. The measurement needed for this dress is your shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches, your bust measurement, which is 36 inches. We added 6 to it, making it 42 inches, your shirt length, which is 38 inches, and your arm length, which is 23 inches. As usual, what we're going to do is, first of all, get the vertical measurement, which are your shoulder line, your chest line, your bust line, then the hip line, and the shirt length. To place the horizontal measurement on the vertical measurement, we start by the shoulder measurement. We impute half of the shoulder measurement, which is 16 divided by 2. We get 8 inches. We impute it on the shoulder line. Then we come down to the chest line as well and impute that same inches and rule a vertical line upward. So this is your armhole line. Then from there, the next thing we are going to be doing is to mark our shoulder slope. Our shoulder slope is 1 inches marked on the armhole line. Mark 3 inches from the center front line on the shoulder line, which serves as the neck width, and connect to the downward 1 inch marking on the shoulder on the armhole line. This serves as the shoulder slope. Then on the chest line, what we're going to do is to insert the bust measurement, which is 42 divided by 4. We get 11, add 1 to it, which is allowance, making it 12. So we're going to be marking 12 on the chest line. We are going to mark that same 12 inches on the hemline because it's going to be we are going to use a very basic pattern to draw this thing out. So there's no need of there's no need of waist measurement in this particular measurement. We draw the armhole by finding the midpoint of the armhole, go in by 3/4 inch and connect from the shoulder tip to the chest line tip. Next, we are going to work on the neck opening. For the back neck, we are going to go down by 1.5 inches from the center front line on the shoulder line and connect to the neck width. And also go down by 3 inches and connect to the neck width for the front neckline. We go down to the hemline and measure the same measurement we measured at the chest line, which is 12 inches. We are going to measure that 12 inches at the hemline, then connect straight from the chest line down to the hemline. We are using the basic measurements. There is no waist. We are not going to put any waist measurement here. So from here, this is where the manipulation starts. What we are going to do is that we forgot to put the hip line, which is 25 inches from the shoulder line. We are going to put that now. When we put that, so what we are going to do now is that we are going to be separating this pattern. So the first separation is going to be on the chest line, which is about 10 inches away from the shoulder line. Then the next separation is going to be from the hip line down to the hem. So we see that the middle panel is going to be about 15 inches, which that middle panel now, we are going to be extending it by times 2. That's in our chest line is 11 inches. We are going to add start same 11 inches to it, making it 22 inches. So we are going to extend it. So this one is going to be our middle panel. Then the last panel, which is from the hip downward to the hem, about 13 inches, is going to be, we are going to add 11. The former one is 11 by 11. That's 11 times 2. That's 22. Now it's going to be 11 times 4, which is going to be 44 inches. So we are going to make the last panel 44 inches. We are trying to separate the panels together. You have the first panel, which is 10 inches long, the second panel, which is 15 inches long, and the third panel, which is about 13 inches long. All these have various sizes. So when you get to the pattern, when you are drafting, we are going to cut it out. When we cut it out, so while we pleat the middle panel and the last panel to match the corresponding panel before sewing them. The difference between the back panel and the front panel is on the upper part of the pattern. So we are going to cut it out. When we cut it out, we are going to leave the button allowance, which is going to be about 2.5 inches. When we draw it out as well, the neck depth, you see that in this place the neck depth differs. So we are going to draw the neck depth. The neck depth is 3 inches deep, so we are going to cut it out. So when we cut it out, so this is going to be our front neck, now our front upper pattern. So the major difference comes from the upper parts. That's just the middle part, and the last panel is the same thing with both the front and the back. So when we get this, what we are going to do is that we are going to place them on our pattern. When we place them on our fabric, rather, we place them on our fabric and cut it out. So while we are cutting out, so initially what we wanted doing was that to keep the button is going to be at the back as shown in the picture, but we now decided that it's going to be too difficult, as in sometimes the person where the client wearing it might be finding it difficult to button it. So we interchanged it so that the front become the back and the back become the front. So we are going to effect that while cutting it. Then these, we are going to label our front pattern and our back pattern. The part of it, this upper part is always called the yoke. You can call it the yoke. So we have both front has yoke and the back has yoke. So we are going to label it. This now in this particular place is our front panel, and we have our back panel. In the back panel here is the one that is having a button extension, but we are going to take it to the front, so that it's going to be the one that will be having button extension. We get to the next stage of cutting it properly on our fabric. The first one we're going to do is to cut the back panel. We cut it out. When we've cut it out, the back panel is going to be times 2. We are going to cut it times 2 because the yoke, we are going to be doubling it. Then the front panel is going to be times 4. We're only going to cut it once. That's, we have the left side and the right side. So this is the back panel. Then we also do the same thing for the front panel. The front panel is going to be times 1. Now when we cut it, what we are going to do is, after we've cut it, then we take it to our pressing iron, bring out the button stand, then join them together. You know, if you don't know how to do button stand, you are going to go to some of our tutorials. It's going to help you on how to prepare a button stand, or you can indicate so that I'll send you the link, of which it will make it easier for you. Then remember that the front pattern and the back pattern, they are the same thing. So that is why we are making it this way. We are cutting it, like we are folding it into 4. So 2 will represent the front pattern, and 2 will represent the back pattern. So this is our the front pattern, because this material, this particular fabric now is in 4 layers. So 2 layers is for the front pattern and 2 layers is for the back pattern. So this is for the middle panel. Then after we've gotten the middle panel, the next thing we are going to do is to get the last panel. The last panel is going to be our hem. And remember, in this particular video, our hem, we said our hem is going to be times 4 of what we are having. So we are going to put our hem, we are going to bring the last panel. And what we did in this video was to increase the length of our hem. Our hem initially was 13, so we increased it to 16 so that it would be a bit longer. Apart from bit longer, so that it will cater for other things. Initially we used 13 inches because of the fabric because of the kind of pattern paper we have. That's the maximum length it can go. So now I'm going to add additional to it so that it can suit my purpose and also my client. Also remember that this particular cutting is going to be is for the front and the back, because the fabric is laid into 4 layers. So when we cut it out, what we are going to do is that the middle panel, we are going to gather it to the yoke pattern, and why the last panel, which is let's call it the hem panel, we are going to gather it to the middle panel. So that is what we are going to do. The next thing we're going to do is to measure the armhole length. The armhole length is 9 inches. So we go to our fabric. When we get our fabric, we fold them in 4 layers. two is for the left hand side and the two other two is for the right hand side. It's being folded. So what you're going to do is, first of all, you get the length of your arm. Our length is going to be 23. We added 3 to each for hemming allowance, or where that's where we're going to put our band. So then the biceps is going to be times 2 of the normal, because we are going to be having a lantern sleeve. So it's not going to be the proper 9 inches. We are going to make it 18 inches at the end of the day. So our armhole there is 18 inches. Then we just bring it down straight. So at the hemming side of the arm is also 18 inches. We fold it, then we prepare it for sewing. So we prepare our fabric for sewing by ironing them properly so that they'll be flat laying and be very straight. So this is our back yoke. So this particular back yoke now, what we are going to do is we are going to embed it on the middle panel. That middle panel is going to be gathered on this particular back yoke as this. When you gather it and you sew it this pattern, so this is the middle panel. The next thing you are going to be doing is to pleat. We are pleating our last yoke on the middle panel. On the middle panel. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to go back to the middle panel and pleat. So in the front yoke part, which is going to have the button stand. This is what we are going to do. If you don't know how to do your button stand, just go to our videos and you are going to learn how to do our button stand. So you are going to connect that same, though that we are going to pleat, you are going to gather it and join it to the upper yoke. Next thing we are going to do is to fix the collar when we have joined them together, because when you have joined them together, we're making use of our interface to get the collar properly. Also, for this particular side, if you don't know how to fix it, you are going to go to some of our videos to learn how to prepare this collar. So, but basically this is how it's been done. You prepare it, then embed the collar stand to the collar like this has been shown. If you embed it, take it to your sewing machine, sew it. Before you take it to your sewing machine, use your pin to hold it together. Hold the 3 pieces together so that while you are on the sewing machine, it will be easier for you. So you are going to be embedding it this way. Just remember that the side that has the interface is always on one side, is always been ironed, so that the other one that do not have interface is longer than it. So first of all, you are going to fix the side with the interface, then you are going to cover it with the one you are going to fix the side without interface, then you are going to cover it with the side with interface. That's what you are going to do. Then you shall be fixing. Make sure while you are doing your collar, you have your pressing iron handy. So this is what we are going to do. We shall be fixing the collar from the inside. So this is what we did. We are fixing. We turn the collar inward. We fix it from inside. So this is what we had. After we sew it, then we'll now come outside. Follow this method and sew. If you don't know how to fix collar, you go to our previous videos. Please support our channel, share, like, and comment. Thank you.